Welcome to the Nadex Application and Strategy Webinar Series presented by Daryl Martin from apexinvesting.com. This webinar is going to talk about trading in general, whether you're trading Nadex, futures, Forex, whatever it is that you're trading, or futures on Nadex spreads and binaries, Forex on Nadex spreads. All these concepts hold to all traders. Before we dive into those concepts, let's go ahead and talk about just the standard fund disclosures. So you can learn more about Apex Investing at apexinvesting.com. Trading, everything, futures, options, swaps, any financial instrument, it all involves risk and may not be suitable for every investor. So, know what you're doing before you do it. Seek any advice you need before you do from those who are legal to advise. This is an educational webinar, and they are not recommendations to buy or sell any particular future, Forex, swap, bond, binary, spread, security, whatever, okay? Risk reward calculations do not include trading costs as exchange fees unless we state otherwise. This is unique information provided by Apex Investing. All trademarks are respective of their, copyright holders. And then, of course, the final risk disclaimer here: futures, options, swap trading involve risk, which may not be suitable for everybody. Your decisions are your responsibility. We just have to state it. Big letters for you. Information for informational purposes. Not an offer to buy or sell something. Past performance not indicative of future performance, et cetera, et cetera. Stuff that's important, as annoying as this is, it's important that it's actually said. That it's out there, that people understand that there is risk. Okay? And, if you want to open a, live account at Nadex, check out Nadex.com. If you're learning how to combine Nadex with futures, with Forex, hop on over to apexinvesting.com. We can show you links for ways to do that as well. If you want any education on any market at all, we have stock traders, futures traders, Forex traders, but of course we have a lot of binary and spread traders as well. Hop on over to our website at apexinvesting.com. And, one of my favorite things to do is actually combine Nadex futures with Nadex spreads. And to click on the Get Free Access button. There's hundreds of hours of free education. Obviously, it takes your time, but the cost itself is free. We do free webinars a couple times a week. And when you log in, you actually see access to our homepage here. So if we get on in there, and let me log in, you'll also get access to our question trading forum right here. So right here we have a forum where you can ask questions about anything related to trading, and we cover the whole gambit of it. Okay? If you're trying to get stuff set up so you can actually activate a platform to look at the futures market, to look at the Forex market, and not do it on some, inaccurate web-based, thing out there for the S&P, ES, or whatever, but to actually see a real chart with real live data for futures or Forex or a combination thereof, that first course under education is where you're going to want to go. It's going to show you how to set up and get all that going and ready. Okay? It takes about 30 minutes, and it is worth your time. So many people, one of the mistakes, we'll talk about this, but they trade Nadex without ever looking at the underlying market. They don't have access to volume. They don't have access to an actual underlying chart. It's a derivative. It's derived from. It's like trading calls and, put vanilla options, just regular old options on stock without ever looking at an Apple chart. Doesn't make sense. So, you want to do that, and it's free. Okay? Again, free. So you have no excuses not to be doing it. So definitely hop on over there. We'll show you how to get chart set up, platform set up, data feeds set up. First step right there. Okay? A couple other things we got for you that can help you out. Go over and check out our scanner, which is free. We have a binary scanner, and we have a spread scanner. So the out of window, just if you want to look at it, guess what? Outside the window without the big, menu. So right there, you agree to the terms, log in, all the stuff is right there for you, and you can go through and you can actually analyze all the markets you want. This is huge. Most of you know, but they just launched the 20-minute binary contracts. And what that means is in Nadex and the platform, you have to refresh your platform every 20 minutes just to see them, or you won't even see the new contracts. If you want to look at contracts on, now, by the way, they're just on the U.S. indices right now. They're just during the morning. So they start at 9:40 a.m. They go to 4 p.m. with the first expiration being at 10 a.m. But what if you want to look at an expiration for, 10 a.m.? Well, you have to look at, if you want to see every contract, you got to look at 10 o'clock. And you have to look at the 10 o'clock intraday. So, or, that type of thing. So, I mean, every hour you're going to look at multiple places just to see binaries expire on the exact same amount of time. Plus, you got to refresh it constantly. So, this will bring in new contracts. As soon as they expire, they're dropped off. As soon as new ones come up, it's going to bring them right up for you. And probably one of my many favorite things about the scanner, I made it to help traders out. I give it away. Don't let this be one of those, that's an advanced tool. I'll get to that later. No, this was made to get you going fast. Okay, and if you can't use this, you're going to have a hard time really trading on Nadex. It even has a simulator built in here for you. Why do I say that? Because the things that this scanner does are the things you should be doing. What market do I want to trade? What expiration do I want to trade? Do I want an in the money or an out of the money binary? What is my risk reward ratio I want? What will the price be when it gets there? What are the choices I got? And you can look at all these hours at once. So I can go in here, I can say, you know what, I want to look at Aussie dollar, euro dollar, and pound dollar. I want to look at in-the-money contracts, and I only want to see ones that expire in the next hour. And I don't want to have a risk greater than $80. Boom. Oh, by the way, I'm just looking at buying right now as an example. And now I literally just scanned every single contract that exists on pound dollar, euro dollar, and Aussie dollar. Said I want buys less than $80 that are in the money, that expire in less than 1 hour. Boom. There is every choice I have instantly. Okay? And if it's, higher than 80, boom, it's out of the way. If it's not in the money anymore, it's gone. So it's going to update live for me. If I don't get all, worried about these filters, just start going, what do I not want to see? I want to see buys. So then click, the buy side. What do I not want to see? Well, maybe I don't want to see in the monies. I just want to see out of the monies. Okay, well then click that, and you'll just see out of the monies. Maybe I don't want to see contracts that expire in, more than an hour. Well, then just bring it down to an hour. Okay, and maybe I don't want to see contracts that cost more than $30. And type in 30. There you go. There's all your out of the money binaries to buy on any one of those markets. So don't get caught up in the filters. Just look at what you got and go, you know what? I don't want to look at that. And you can trade demo and live. All you got to do is after you've logged in here, log into your demo or live Nadex account. If it says that message and you are logged in, just log out and log back in. Okay? Now, if you want to get real detailed on how to use it, we have a step-by-step training for you. Check it out. And we got spread scanner training course. We got binary scanner training course. There's a whole FAQ section. But this is a very valuable tool. I've spent a lot of money on it. And again, we give it away free because I think it's really necessary. I want the Nadex volume up. I want more market makers on. I want more contracts being released. And so this is the best way I can do it by making it easier for other traders. So definitely take advantage of that, okay? We got the forum right here. You can check that out. We also have a lot of other services. This is really not a, what we offer webinar. I just want to let you know where some free resources are at. Webinar recordings, past spread webinars, past binary webinars, various Thursday webinars we've done. Day trading plans, how we put all those together, all that stuff, all right there under the product info. So you can check that out. So there's a lot of things you can check out, but and then of course our webinar schedule right over here under weekly webinars. And that lets you know when I do my radio show every day, and it lets you know, what webinars we have coming up, and then the links for registration, all in one easy spot for you. The other two things is we have what we call deviation levels. And so you can look at that, and we have a news trading plan you can check out. Deviation levels are posted live right here on the site. Now, we do have a tool that you can feed them into your charts, makes it a lot easier. And they're awesome about telling you how far the market's going to move each day. And you can check that out for yourself for free and see how well they work. And then we have a news plan. Even if you don't trade the news, you should be aware of the news because it does impact the markets you're trading. And so we talk about which ones to be aware of. We talk about the ones and what kind of expect. We may have some that we expect to be a big move. Might do a straddle, those yellow ones, or might do a neutral trade like a butterfly or an iron condor. That'd be the green ones, okay? And there's trainings right there on that. This is all free. I've just showed you here to check out, check out the trainings on anything that we got, all that, and let us know if you have any questions. We'll be glad to help you. I just don't want you to be, some of y'all are brand new. I want you to know where to go to find out more. Okay? And again, we have traders from all different walks, futures, forex, stock traders. We have Nadex traders, Nadex binary traders, Nadex spread traders, CFD traders, with people all over the world that are trading. And Nadex is expanding. So now they're in Canada, now they're in Mexico, now they got the 20-minute binaries, and hopefully they'll keep expanding. All right, so what are we going in today specifically on this webinar? What we're going to be talking about in specifics, okay, is, why most traders fail. And we're talking about choosing the right system, the right platform, strategies, the importance of education, okay? And then, obviously, as you know, we give education there for free to check on out. So with the importance of that and making sure that you are taking advantage of education, that you're not learning in a box, in a silo, that you're with other people, this is going to help you out a whole lot, okay? And let me I'm going to turn on John just so if y'all have some other questions here. But, are you gambling or are you trading? Got him off guard, his mic's on. Are you gambling, are you trading, are you investing time, and not throwing money away by doing it? So, things like that. And, that's what we're going to go into today. And this is what you need to be successful. I don't care if you're trading Nadex or anything else. These are important tips that go across the board. Okay? All right. So with that, let's go ahead and dive on in. We got everything out of the way. And now I just want to make sure I'm on track. Okay. So obviously here is just a pretty simple, obvious list, but an important list. Impatience is the first reason. I put that at the top of the list. I don't want to learn. I want to trade. I want to trade now. I don't want to wait on it. Give me. What can I do to start at this second? I want to go. I don't want to learn anything. This is overwhelming. There's too much I have to... You don't expect to go, I want to be a doctor, give me a scalpel, let me cut into somebody's brain. That sounds a little scary, right? Well, so does it whenever you have live money and you hop into trading, you don't have an idea of what you're doing. So you need that education, okay? You need that patience to wait for the right setup, to go, you know what, sometimes I'm going to miss some setups. Maybe the price wasn't right. Maybe I just missed it. Maybe I took a phone call and I'm angry that I didn't take it, but I got to just chill out, back off. There's going to be another trade. I go fishing occasionally with one of our traders. He has a big fishing resort out in Alaska, and we'll go out there. Me and my entire family will go out and talk, patience. Now, it's pretty cool because their captains have their own boats, and they drive us around, and they know where to go and where the fish are. You're usually not waiting that long, but there still is a patience factor. Sometimes we'll sit there and nothing. And then other times, like, I literally am pulling in mine and then have to put it down and grab my wife's and then grab my daughter's. I'm running all around the boat. And I'm like, I want patience now. I'm like, please let me practice some of my patience. So sometimes there's so many trades you can't handle. Sometimes there's just not a lot. Sometimes you got to go look at a different pool. Maybe Forex isn't where it's at. Maybe you need to hop over the S&P, or whatever. Or, indices or commodities or, that type of thing. But you got to have patience. Another word I remember for patience on one of my professor's desks when I was in college was long suffering. And you just have to get used to that and be willing to sit back and not have that now. Because I've been on webinars before where they were a live trading webinar, and I'll do this occasionally. And I had some traders like, where's the trade? I want the trade. Why are you just talking? Where's the trade? And I'm like, you probably don't make a lot of money, do you? I was like, when there's a right trade and a good setup, I'll take it. And, to sort of put him off. About 20 minutes later, there was a good trade. And within about a few minutes, made a fantastic trade with a massive return on it. It's one of our most popular videos on YouTube. But I was patient. I could have lost money, and I still could have lost money when the trade happened anyway. I may not have pulled the fish in, right? Could have lost the bait there. But I was patient. I let the setup come to me. It did. Pulled it in, did it right, and was able to be profitable on the trade. Lack of education, just hopping in, not having a clue what you're doing. Now, there is a flip side to this I want to warn about, and I think I talk about this a little bit later, but that's that I think I got to know everything to do anything thing that happens, okay? you don't have to know everything to do anything. You don't have to know how every single future contract works to trade on Nadex. You don't have to know how any of them work, specifically in tick size. You can still trade the Nadex spreads. They all tick in $1. They all tick in an increment of 1 or 0.1 or 0.01. You have to know that. Now if you're trading futures contracts, you better know how that future contract works. If you're combining them, you better know how to combine them and what the proper ratios are. But don't feel like you need to master everything on binaries and everything on spreads to trade either one, or everything on futures. I mean, we can do months of education just on futures, months on binaries, months on what do you need to know to execute a system? Okay. And then expand from there. It's amazing people. I've been watching videos on your site for 6 months. I'm like, oh, that's horrible. Why aren't you trading yet? Get in there, trade. Ask what a few important videos are. We have those posted all over the place inside of our forum. Watch those videos, get them down. Go to some of our past webinars, pick up some of the basics, knock that out. Hop in demo as quick as you can. I mean, like right away. Make your mistakes in demo. Don't worry about it. And get going. When you do go live, next big thing is poor risk management. So, with poor risk management, you're going to blow your account out. You may get on a lucky streak, but you're going to blow it up. I can almost promise that that's going to happen to you. Okay? Because you're going to start out with $500, and you're going to maybe you do one contract, you're up to like 1,000. All of a sudden, you're going to do 5 contracts. Man, you hit a streak. You've won 8 times, and you put in like 10 contracts, and boom, you're down $500 in a trade. Oh, I got to make that back, and now you're 500. Boom, now your account's 0. Bad risk management, number 1 killer of traders. All these are like on a number 1 list, but I've seen it happen so many times. You're right. I risk too much. I'm going to save up and I'll come back. Don't use bad risk management. Don't go, I only have $100. Can I go? It's like, well, you can. There are some ways to do that, but they're very limited on what you can do that with $100, right? So you might be better off in that case, demo trading, spending some time learning, and saving some money. I'm not saying you have to have a fortune, but have enough money where whatever trade system you're using, you can use proper risk management. We have that. We have some training on risk management inside of our stewardship section under our forum. I think it's S2. Trading live too soon instead of in demo. You need to be able to trade in demo. You need to know how it works, hit the buttons, how the platform works, the scanner works, whatever if you're using that. You need to be able to go in and ideally, if you can't do it in demo, probably doesn't mean you can do it in live. I'm not saying you can't, but just because you can do it in demo doesn't mean you can do it in live. Okay, so it goes both ways. Some of those differences are going in, and inconsistency. I talk about that is people take every trade. They're consistent. They follow the rules in demo. Boom, 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 boom. Or they break some rules and get lucky, and they carry maybe some of those bad habits, or they don't carry those good habits into live. So you need to trade demo like you're going to trade live in both size and discipline. You literally gotta treat it like it's live. Yes, you won't have the heartbeat piece. Boom, 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 boom. I could lose money. It's demo. But if you have proper risk management, you shouldn't have the heartbeat piece anyway. You should just know that's part of trading. It's just like part of business is having expenses and having income, and then you don't freak out just because you got a bill, right? So you expect to have expenses. You just also want to make income greater than the expenses, and expenses are going to come along the way, okay? They don't all come after you've made all your money. A lot of times you got to pay for some stuff up front. You got to take some hits along the way as you're learning. So proper risk management is going to keep you in there. Trading demo, getting it down, being successful in demo, then going to live, and not changing how you trade. Don't go and trade 20 contracts in demo unless you're going to actually have the money to trade 20 contracts in live, okay? Inconsistency. So you got to be consistent. Oh, you're right. I didn't follow the rule on that one. Well, I really thought that was going to be a good one, and so I went off the cuff. And one trader sent me an email today. They're like, "Man, I really didn't do that well in oil," and da 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 da. And I'm like, "How did you not? What was wrong with oil?" Like we had a day trading plan for oil, and we got a couple of them. There's a couple that were a little bit choppy today. Like the indices just sort of sat around and decided to do a camp out around settlement today. But um, overall, I'm like, well, what was the oil issue? And I went over the rules, and I'm like, let's see, profit, break even, nice profit, And he's like, oh, you're right. Okay. So be consistent. Follow those rules consistently. Don't get lazy. And here's where inconsistency usually is bred from. It's usually bred from doing the wrong thing, okay? And being rewarded for it. Like, it works. Like on our day trading plans, we're like, hey, make sure it resets. Make sure if you're going to buy, and it already hit that price line, make sure it has a high below the line. Well, you broke that rule, man, it bounced in between there 3 times without ever resetting, and you made some money. And then the next day, you're wondering why you got slammed, and, you're down a big trade because you didn't wait, because it worked yesterday. So you want that consistency. Now, if you want to, go off the cuff a little bit, lower your risk, definitely. And I'm not saying that there's not times and justifications and reasons where you see something on the chart, But if you ever have a trade that loses and it wasn't within your rules, you want to realize first thing out of the gate, okay, I wasn't being consistent with my rules, and chalk that one up to that. Otherwise, you end up changing your system every time you have a loss. Very, very bad practice. Okay? Not taking every trade. Now, there may be a reason not to take a trade. You see it's all the way up at a 1 deviation. It's not a good reason to buy or whatever. Or maybe the price isn't right. It's just too high, much higher than it should be. And so, that may be a reason why you don't take a trade. But not taking every trade on your system will break your stats. Okay, if the trade is executable and you don't take it, and you're cherry picking, I don't know why, but you've probably had a similar experience. If I cherry pick my trades, I seem to be really good at picking the wrong ones. Okay? So you got to be consistent to let the stats work out. You got to understand there's going to be some losses. Don't stop right before that big profitable trade. Well, why would I stop before the big profitable one after a couple losses? Well, because I risked too much money. And so now I'm not psychologically prepared to be consistent and take every trade. Monitoring too many instruments at once. Unless you have the tools you need to do this, like alerts that will set up, you have to making it simple, like the scanner. And even there could be too many for you, but you need something that if you are going to do more than one instrument at a time, you have some alerts that are helping you do that. Okay, you need to be able to do that. One, make sure you got one down. After you know how to do it on one, then you can add more. So, I know a lot of traders, they'll actually monitor up to 8. But they got there making sure they had 1 down, then 2 down, then 4 down, then 6 down, then 8 down. So make sure, you got alerts. Don't just be trying to... Otherwise, what happens... And when you have 8, that means you got to take every trade on the 8. Okay, you can't just oil has 1. Okay, well, I'll sit out on that S&P 1. You got to take them all for that plan to work out on each instrument. That lets your probabilities work out over time. Another big mistake, no social interaction. I've seen so many false assumptions posted online. I've seen many in our forum, many on other forums. I've counteracted a lot of those. So many false assumptions from people trading in a box. Oh, well, Nadex hosed me on that one. I'm like, Nadex doesn't trade against you. Okay? They're an exchange. They're not on the other side of the trade. They want all the volume they can get. They do not want to piss you off. They are there to facilitate a transaction between a buyer and a seller, okay? They don't make more when you win or when you lose. The only thing they're going to make money on is a transaction fee. Well, the market maker. Okay, well, market makers don't want to actually trade against you. Now, yes, they're taking the opposite side of your trade, but they're hoping to unload that immediately to somebody else and make the bid-offer spread. Well, it's too wide, so they must be trying to host me. No, it's wider because they got to have time to find somebody to unload the trade on the other side. Or somebody uses a wrong button. Or, I can just go on down the list after, like all these assumptions that traders make inside a box. And I get it. I've called Nadex. I've asked questions. But you got to ask. It's good if you can ask other traders experiencing it, if you can see things. That's why we have that forum. That's why that forum is free. That's why we also have, trading in chat rooms where you can ask questions. So you're not stuck in a box. but you need social interaction. Trading can become a very lonely place where you can justify everything as being everybody else's fault but your own. And when in reality, if you're called out, you can actually become a much better trader. You got to be willing to put yourself on the line. You got to be willing to be wrong and say, I think this is what happened. Am I right? Versus, man, they hosed me. And like that's the end of the discussion in your head. It's like, well, no, not actually. Here's what you did wrong. You hit this button wrong. This is how it works, and here's how you can see it. Okay? It's like, oh, wow. Well, now you're a better trader. Now you've eliminated a false assumption, and you can improve in your trading. Going on into some more things with that. Thinking you know it all and not improving. That would be part of that trading in a box. You never know what gold nugget you might pick up inside of a chat room or trade room. I mean, you'll filter through a lot of stuff that you already know. By the way, you will improve by helping others. So when there's nothing there about helping you, you'll actually improve by helping other people. Why do you think I do this? I've become 1,000 times better at trading by helping other people learn how to trade, because I've had to really learn how to define what I say, which has helped me be able to train my kids and my spouse how to trade as well. But always be improving. I'm always improving. I watch other people's webinars. I hop on and I read books. I'm going to the Money Show in Vegas next week. I'm going to attend some presentations, ones that I'm interested in. I've been trading for over a decade. I trade profitably, okay? I'm still learning. So always be improving, okay? Always be improving, and always go back to those basics. Thinking you're going to find that one trade that wins 100% of the time. What if I had this line and crossed this over with it and all four lined up? Then I wouldn't have to worry about losses. Obviously, that's wrong. Okay? Trading is like a business. You have expenses. Expect losses. Just make sure that whatever your probabilities are, whatever your profitabilities are, in the end, they line up to be net positive. That's your goal. And as soon as you accept the fact that losses will happen and it's your job to manage them, that will be so much. Like, you will be twice ahead of any other trader you know. I'm not saying just hear it. I'm not saying, yeah, I know that's true. But I'm saying, like, literally own it. My risk management, okay, is what is the key. It is the holy grail, okay, as far as I'm concerned. It is not finding that one trade that wins every single time, okay? When you believe that, when you really believe that, you'll actually start managing your risk and not blowing your account up. You'll actually do withdrawals when you have profits, okay? I love making withdrawals. That's my favorite thing about trading. It's not trading. It's not putting money into an account. It's pulling money out. Made a couple withdrawals last week. It was awesome. Okay? That's what it's about. But it comes down to, and I'm not saying I've made money forever and I've always made money. I've had to go through a lot of hard knocks. I've had to lose a lot to learn how to make money. Okay? Try to share that with you. Try to help you out. I hope you can do the same. But trying to find that one trade that wins 100% is not the key. The key is good risk management. And it is not saying I'm going to see if I can get lucky and buy a lotto ticket with my $75 account. Okay? Understanding what I call the ABCs, but not the 1, 2, 3s. The ABCs are, okay, I got a green arrow on the chart. When that happens, then I buy here. And I put a stop here, and I take profit here. Okay? So it's the system that you have learned to follow, that you've designed, that somebody else is printing on the chart for you. All those are good. I mean, people have a lot of experience trading. They put together systems. I put together systems to help expedite and help the learning curve. Nothing wrong with that. But not the 1, 2, 3. It's not the why. What's going on here? Is there a support or resistance, a Fibonacci level? Is there order flow? What about volume? What about expected movements during this time? Like learning that why behind a trade, learning how to read the chart in addition to the rules. Don't go to the speed limit unless some crazy maniac is chasing you with a gun. Then you break the rule. The rule is there to keep the road safe, but they're also there to keep you safe, So there are times to break the rules, but there are times to not break the rules. There are times, now I will tell you right now is, I usually don't break the rules to get into a trade. It's very rare, and I'm using very low risk if I do it, okay? If I ever have to modify my rules on exits, it's usually because I see something that says, hey, it's time to get out. It's time to take profit. It's time to cut your losses on this one. Or this is a bad idea to take this trade. FOMC is coming out in 2 minutes, or whatever. That'd be a reason not to follow my little green arrow. FOMC interest rates are coming out. I could make a lot of money in 5 seconds, or I could lose a lot of money in 5 seconds. It is 50-50 when that decision comes out. That's the 1, 2, 3s. Okay? It's thinking, not just following. And so, yes, you got to learn to follow, but then you also got to learn to think. Okay? And don't overthink. Don't get in analysis paralysis mode. Don't think 45 indicators are going to help you. But is there a major news announcement coming out? Advanced GDP, NFP reports coming out this week, FOMC interest rates. I don't care what green or red arrow you got, you're at a 50-50 whenever that thing pops up, unless you're doing some sort of neutral or breakout trade or something like that. You might be able to increase your probability with those, but you need to hedge off or close out or get out of the way or whatever. You got to think a little bit. And I hate to say that. I mean, everybody wants, I know they want it super easy, but you got to think a little bit. Okay? And I don't mean that to be insulting. I just mean that to be real, because I don't want you to be a trader that fails. And I mean, that goes right into looking for just the rules, not learning to learn to trade. Typo there. But you got to learn to trade. So, do you have to start? No. But no matter what's given to you, you do want to learn to trade over time, right? I mean, maybe it won't be right away. It may take you some time, and I think there is some wisdom in following other people and seeing people that are doing it, and it is working for them. And, definitely. But, eventually, I mean, if you want this to be a livelihood, you're going to want to have a clue. Okay? Next one, not knowing when to stop for the day. Okay? Not knowing when to stop for the day. Whether that means you're down a certain amount or you're up a certain amount. So I've seen so many traders are up, and they give it all back in the afternoon. Man, because they hit like 5 trades in a row, and they were awesome, and they just want to keep going, and today is the day that they're going to make enough to buy that house. So just stop. Enjoy it. Go enjoy the day. That's why you're trading. Enjoy it. Okay? We have a 5% rule. Like, once you surpass 5%, don't give back the original 5% you made. Doesn't mean you can't go higher than that, but you have a trader, they're done at 8 or 9%, they can decide to either walk away. They can risk, say, if they're at 9%, risk 4%, but don't risk that original 5. 5% a day adds up quick if you can pull that off. Okay? It's only $50 on, $1,000. And it, do the math. We have a whole video on that. Dude, like I said, it'll walk you through it. But know when to stop, up or down. Not willing to take a loss. So it sounds really weird. Wait a minute, Nadex, isn't the whole point of Nadex is I don't have to get stopped out on spikes? Well, yeah, if you're doing out-of-the-money binaries, you're doing low-risk spreads. Maybe you're doing a spread that the stop-loss doesn't even make sense by the time it gets there. Yeah, makes complete sense. But, I mean, maybe you're mirroring the market. Maybe you're doing an in-the-money contract. I'm not saying that maybe your system doesn't call for, maybe like some systems don't call for having losses taken, exactly. They build in, they have the probability high enough, the reward high enough that it compensates. But do you know that? And if you're not willing to limit your risk, again, you're not willing to take a loss, then that's just that many more trades you're going to have to take to even get back to where you were to begin with. And I'm not talking about trying to make it back, because that's a bad move. But I'm talking about you got to be willing to take a loss when it applies. Now, a beautiful thing, again, on Nadex, you can hedge off futures, you can hedge off Forex, you can use low-risk contracts. But if you're going to use some of the premium collection strategies, things like that, then at certain points it's wiser to just get out and move on and look for the next trade. Greed. More. Again, this ties into so many things I've already said, but not knowing when to stop for the day, risking too much money because you want to make so much money. Greed is your greed is overtaking you when you're not willing to stop and learn. When you don't want to set up the platform and the data feeds, you want somebody else to do it for you. That's greed, because you actually should be empowering yourself and learning how to do it and watching the course that's out there. Okay? You're like, well, I'm not being greedy. I just want to get going fast. Why do you want to go fast? Well, so I can make money. Okay, so there is a greed factor. You're giving up the ability to learn how to follow those steps and know what to do when things happen, just so you can go out there and make money fast. Well, if you don't have the discipline to learn how to install a platform, are you going to have the discipline to follow a trade rule? I don't know. So, start off with good discipline up front. keep that greed in check. Know when I'm up a certain amount, to take it off and walk away. Big thing, rewarding bad behavior. Massive, right? So something, you break the rule and it goes right, and all of a sudden that becomes a new rule. Anybody else been there? And then all of a sudden that works for a couple days until it doesn't. It wipes you out. I didn't use stops on APCs for weeks. I turned all this money into this, and then the next few days it all of a sudden is gone. Okay? So be really careful. Really careful. Bad behavior can be very rewarding until it isn't, and then it just bites you. Okay? And it bites hard when it does. So be careful on that. Importance of education. The longest path to a short distance. Longest path to a destination is a shortcut. I read this. My daughter, she rides horses. And I read this on the wall when I was up at one of the stables where she does training at. She does like barrel racing and all that. And Cowboy had that up there in an article that he wrote about learning to train a horse to get on a trailer and all that. And, don't take the shortcuts. Okay? I mean, now there may be a very nice, simple path laid out for you. But, don't try to skip around it. Like, take the time, learn. I know we're all busy. I know I had to learn. I had to spend a year studying before I ever got to quit my day job. Learn. But I was trading too. I got to trading as well, so I could get out of that. But don't try to shortcut it. Don't try to go, I'm just going to figure it out without reading the manual or watching the video. I'm just going to wait until somebody tells me the trade in a chat room. That's going to be the long path to that destination. Okay? Spend some time. It amazes me. People will spend years, thousands of dollars on college to hopefully, by the way, get a career. Okay? I read a story today about a girl who went to college, and she's $20,000 in debt and can't find a job anywhere. And she's like, I wish I would have never went to begin with, because now I'm working, a very low-income job, not in the field at all I wanted. People spend years trying to get a piece of paper that might get them a job. You can spend hours, days, weeks, maybe months, and master all this and get all this education for free. But people won't do it. So spend the time. Why would you not spend some time learning how to trade? Invest in yourself. Watch a training course. Watch a webinar. Watch a couple webinars a week. You don't got to go power watching, okay? But, definitely go in there. Ask questions. Don't be afraid. It's amazing how much, as adults, we want to look good. Ask lots of questions. Ask them in the forum. Ask them in the rooms. Don't worry about looking stupid. Nobody can remember the questions you asked months ago. Many of our leaders asked a lot of those, what you would think would be dumb questions of you to ask at some point. I've asked those questions. I remember calling up and placing my first option order. Thinkorswim. I'm like, I want to place a call on, I can't remember the market now, but I'm like, I want to place a call to buy this contract. And they're like, okay, I'll put that in for you. I'm like, no. I want you to tell me how to do it. I want to know how to do it. Is there a video? Is there a place? And they'll walk me through it. Or, I don't care if I have to watch a video or if you're going to tell me, but I want to know how to do it. Ask the questions. Don't be afraid to ask, because everybody has asked the questions that you're going to ask at some point while they're learning along the way. Okay? We may say the answer is in a video. Go watch it. You go watch it. Maybe you still don't quite understand it. Come back and ask. But, don't be afraid to ask questions. This is a big one. It's something that one of my mentors taught me. You don't know what you don't know until someone who does know tells you what you don't know. This is where chart sharing comes up. Somebody thinks they know a system, they have the rules down, they post them up. They're like, I didn't make money, this, that. And I'm like, well, I don't see your chart. I don't know what you did. And if I see it's amazing how many times this has happened, and it's amazing how few people will post them. But somebody will have the list 4 or 5 days, 6 days, and I'll go, oh, this is the error you're making. You make it every single day. You made this error and these 2 errors, and you're very consistent about it. If you would have not made these, you would have wiped out all of these losing trades. Not every losing trade would have been wiped out, but all of these losing trades would have been wiped out. Oh, wow, I didn't understand that. I thought I understood the rules. You don't know what you don't know until somebody who sees what you don't know tells you. Okay, so share. That's, again, that socialization part. It's so big. I didn't get here on my own. I don't expect you to. Are you a trader or are you a gambler? Straight up. Do you have a system? A strategy? Do you have this is when I get in. This is when I get out. This is why. Or are you just like, I like the payout on that one. I think it's going up. I think it's going down. I think it'll stay between that range. Do you have something that's actually defining your rules? Could somebody repeat what you're doing? Could you sit down and teach them, at least in a few hours, what you're doing? Assuming they had the basics down, okay? In 2-3 hours max or less, could they walk away and both of you call the exact same trades without y'all talking again? If not, you're not trading a system or strategy. You won't have any consistency. Okay? You're gambling. Are you taking them based on gut? Man, I just think it's going to go up. I saw it on MSNBC. I like the price, or I like the return. I just think I'm going to get a blackjack. I'm all in. Or, come on, I mean, it's the phrases can carry over pretty quickly. Are you listening to people that don't know what they're talking about? Are you reading forum posts where they're on there and they're trying to go, oh, well, Nadex doesn't have liquidity and this and that. And then you read how they have like 40, 50 other posts and all these banners to bucket shops. You think maybe the site has an agenda and all those are affiliate links on top of that? Are you talking to people who are doing it every day? Talking to somebody who had a bad taste in their mouth, who doesn't know Nadex, who they had a lot of those false assumptions because they didn't get the proper education? Or are you talking to people who know, who are in the markets every day? Okay? So, what do you think about, Blue 52 horse? You think he's going to be the fastest? Oh, I think so. Well, how does he know? Well, because, some other person told him, and some other person told him. All right? And none of them even looked at a single stat. So, listen to people that don't know. That's a big mistake. That's a good sign. Okay, MSNBC is there to entertain, not to help. I mean, their job doesn't go away regardless of your profit or loss on whatever they're talking about. All right? Not testing in demo first, just throwing away live money. Well, it's not real if it's not live. If I don't feel the action, it's not real, and da-da-da-da. You're gambling. Straight up, I'm just going to call it out. All right? So, if you got to feel the action, and you need this, the feel for speed, and da-da-da-da-da-da, and you got to have... That's not trading. That's not being professional, okay? I'm not saying don't trade live. I'm just saying if your excuse is it's not real, that's because you don't treat demo real. What if you told yourself, unless I can trade by my rules consistently for this many days and net this much profit, I can't go live? Well, that's going to make it a lot real for you because you want to make some money, okay? I'll make it a little bit more real. But, don't just throw every idea into live cash and just see what happens. I've lost more money doing that. That's just a stupid thing to do. Okay? Hope you don't repeat the same thing. Trading too big after a winning streak. I've seen this I don't know how many times. We've had winning streaks where we just nailed it. And I had one got canceled. It's like, I can't believe I lost this money. Da-da-da-da. And I'm like, how did you lose that, dude? You've been on for all this time. We just had 15 trades in a row that won. The last couple lost. What's up, man? You ought to be up pretty nice. Okay, well, I just kept increasing my size exponentially every time we won. I just kept doubling up. His account got huge, and then it got wiped out. Because he didn't have that risk management check. He got that greed factor going. Not using volume, proper indicators. You need to have volume, price action, and proper expectations of movement on whatever system you're trading. Volume, price action, proper expectations of movement on a system. It will help tremendously. Those are the 3 pegs to a stool. One of them's missing, it's going to fall over. Okay? So you need all 3 of those. You can't do that like on a Nadex indicative chart because they don't have volume of the underlying because they're a derivative. They're not the underlying market. I love Nadex. I love Nadex charts when I'm on the go. If I want to check them out, I check them out. I love looking at how the binary spread price moved, all that. But when I want to see an actual S&P or euro dollar chart, and I want to see volume on euro dollar, of course I look at the 6E volume. I'll look at the futures, Forex volume, but I look at the volume, I look at the price action, and I look at the expected movements. We plot those out on all our charts. Not having live data. You can't be trading on delayed data on live trading. Okay, especially on intraday markets, same week markets. I mean, you need live data. We showed you how to get that at the front of the webinar for free. Okay, first tab under education, first course. No reason. So don't use random online charts. Well, these seem to work just fine. Read the disclaimers. These aren't necessarily live. They could be delayed. They're made up of a combination of different things. They may not match. Start reading the disclaimer. I don't care if it says live charts on it. Read the disclaimer and see if it's really live. Okay? Um, so, you know, you got to choose the right system. You got to choose the right strategy. Part of that's looking at the time of day. You know, do you think you should be choosing some big trend trading system when the markets are pretty flat during the Asian session? Is that wise to do? So, do you think that's a good idea? When the markets are usually pretty flat, do you think you should be going in looking for big apex long trend trades? No. Okay, you need to find, like, whatever your time of day is, you got to find some systems that work for that time of day. You know, how many hours, if more than one, I know one guy that trades 20 minutes a day, but how many hours are available for you to trade? Okay, so what system would work for that? All right, what is your risk tolerance? What can you afford to actually, you know, risk? What's your experience? All right, you may not be hopping into the most advanced strategies on day one. The depth of knowledge, you know, market conditions, stuff like that. What's going on? I mean, if the market is just chopping around all day, might want to back off on the trend trades, right? So if the market's trending like crazy, you might want to not be doing reversal trades on it. It's good to have more than one play in your playbook. And we go through a lot of different systems that put those pieces together. Okay? And do all those different pieces. That really is, you know, the main, you know, stuff we got. We have, you know, different things on there that we can teach you about. And I hope we can help you out and help you learn a lot. I know I had one more thing I want to go in. I may have jumped over. I want to see that I jump over it. Got depth tolerant risk. You know, basically take the time to learn. Oh, this is one more thing I want to cover with you. Was take the time to learn. You know, think. You know, don't think short term. There we go. There it is. I knew I had one more slide missing there somewhere. Take the time to learn. Where do you want to be in 12 months? If you're thinking about 12 days, you're going to blow your account out. Okay? Where do I want to be in 12 months? And may I have to invest in some education before I'm making a whole lot before I get there so I can have some assistance on the way? Yeah, that's probably a wise decision. Doctors do it. Pilots do it. Lawyers do it. Every profession does it. Why wouldn't traders do it? Surviving. You need to survive. You need to have that good risk management. Preserve your capital till you know what's going on. And when you do know what's going on, don't just go all in. You know, trade with risk capital, not the rent money. Scared money has a tendency to disappear really, really quick. If you don't know that now, you will soon, okay? Like, you'll find out. Trade with risk capital, not with the rent money. Don't be trading out of need. I get some people like, I really need to make $500 this week, and what can I do to make me $500? And I'm like, go work, you know, 20 more hours at your job. I mean, that's how you can go make $500 more. If you need to make money, you gotta back off of trading because you're gonna make emotional decisions and mess it up. You might get lucky, but I don't want you to be trading on luck. Socialize, get involved, ask questions. You know, use a trade journal. What I do right, what I do right that I do want to repeat, what I do wrong that I don't want to repeat, and you know, what can I learn that's unique about today. So again, to open a live account, hop on over to Nadex.com. Whether you're in futures or Forex, like I said, or you know, CFDs or stocks or Nadex binaries, Nadex spreads, all this information applies to you. Okay, hop on over to ApexInvesting.com. We'll teach you how to trade all sorts of different markets, including Nadex, which is one of our preferred markets, obviously. And join us next week. We're going to talk about some nighttime range-bound strategies. And we'll go into nighttime trading instruments. We'll talk about butterflies. We're talking about range-bound strategies, which are going to be really good for those 20-minute contracts. We're looking at that. Could even be used during the day on those indices. We're also going to talk about how to find, you know, opportunities quickly. And nighttime premium collection on the binaries and the spreads is what we'll be covering next week. Sort of a recap for some of you and a few extra details that maybe we haven't talked too much about before. All right, that is pretty much it. I hope you all have a great evening. And I'll wrap up the webinar here, but also stay on just in case there are a few additional questions.